So I'm not going to say the word in this video because I know how petty TikTok is, but I want to talk about the F word, and y'all know what I'm talking about, that FAGGET word. So, that is a derogatory term in our community when you're trans, when you're queer. And I am not one of those Black indigenous people who does not use the word when I feel like it's appropriate. Just like, in the Black indigenous community, we use the word BITCH when we feel it's appropriate. We use the word NIGGA when we feel it's appropriate. It can be used positively and it can be used negatively. Now, because I realize that I am in touch with my masculine and my feminine side, sometimes some of the behaviors that I could display or some of those around me can be either higher level masculine behavior, which is a part of wholeness, the protecting, the loyalty. Some people say the logic, it's a, I don't know, because logic can be a female trait, but they like to give it to the men or to give it to the male energy. But let's be clear. If I'm getting into an altercation with someone, and I was getting into an altercation with someone who I mentor a few months back, and they went to yelling at me and screaming at me in my house, and their voice got octaves lower, and they were just yelling at me and screaming at me, and it gave me FAGG. It gave me the behavior. So first I told them that they sounded STUPID. For yelling at me in my house, so clearly you sound STUPID. So when they was walking out the door after they had finished yelling and cracked my tablet and everything, I said, would show FAGGET behind. So, well, that's not what you know what I said. So, and I said it a couple of times. And the reason why I said it is because of the behavior. Now, because this person has only gotten so far in their physical transition and they're in their mid-30s, I think it impacts them a little bit harder because sometimes I think it's just a truth hurt situation, because I've said this to daughters. I've said this to my daughters who are tuna down to the socks, and they said it to me, we arguing. Of course, my daughter's not gonna let me call them that without calling me that back. So if you dish it, you need to be able to take it. I think the reason why it's really hitting this person so hard is because they still see it in themselves. And it's more of the truth hurt situation. Let me give another example of what I call FAGGET behavior. We walking down the street and this person has to pee, and we're on a main highway, and this person whips out their thing and leans up against the tree and start peeing, and two Latino females are coming down the street. And so I'm like, you see the two females coming down the street? And the person was like, they'll be all right. To me, that's FAGGET behavior, because girls, which you're not traumatized by being called a girl, you're not traumatized by being called a lady, you're not traumatized by being called a woman, but in that moment, you were acting like neither of them. And so when I see you doing a behavior that resonates with FAGGET behavior or FAGGOT behavior, and I call you out on it, the reason why you're in your feelings is not because it's trauma or because I'm bringing you back to where your birth mother brought you. It's because you have not grown that much since that place. And me bringing that up for you is reminding you of the fact that you have not grown that much. And so I'm not going to apologize when someone comes into my space yelling at me, screaming and hollering at me, trying to dominate me in my own home, trying to make me feel inferior in my own home, not having respect for me as someone who is like 14 years older than you, who's mentored you, who's let you come stay in their house, who's fed you, who's clothed you, who's done all the things for you. And when you're expressing a behavior that I feel is either bitch, that is nigga, that is fagget, or faggot. When you're doing any of that, you could call it trauma, you could call it disrespect. I call it calling a thing a thing. And so in that moment, and again, it doesn't mean that I'm whole. Doesn't mean I don't have my moments where I don't give that energy, where I don't give that behavior. But I don't exist in that vein. That's not my main stream of energy. You're not going to always find me sunbathing there, pitching a tent there, chilling in that particular arena or that area. And I find that you graze there. You know, you like to eat your grass in the area of FAGGOT or FAGGET ness. And so when I called you on that, you're feeling away. But get over yourself and evolve, grow, and change, and stop blaming other people for behaviors that you have not healed from or worked out. It's almost like somebody cast a binding spell on you that makes you feel like every other day you need to go and graze in that land, in that space. You need to take a trip down to Fagina land. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just feel like you need to do that. You need to like dabble in Fagina tree. You know what I'm saying? Faginaism. You know, clock it. You don't see cis binary women walking down the street with G-strings and bras and see-through gowns on with pubic hair showing, and a face full of unblended makeup and colorful braids. You don't see cis women. You don't even see trans women doing that. But then when someone says it's giving with Crocs and socks on, and so when someone tells you what this is reminding me of, you're in your feelings. Girl, stop. Stop blaming everybody else for the fact that you refuse to grow and that you refuse to evolve and that you refuse to take accountability for your foolishness. Anyway, girl, I love you, but, you know, we had a good run. I still will work with you as an artist. You're talented, brilliant, creative as hell. But, you know, like people have, like I know about myself, sometimes I have the ability to self-sabotage. And because I know that about myself, I could take accountability for that. I think you need to learn to take accountability for the fact that you also have the capacity to often self-sabotage and then blame other people. Get that together. But hey, everybody in their own time. We ain't all born at the same time. We don't all die at the same time. So we ain't gonna all get there at the same time. Anyway, for those that love me, I love you back. Laylim Layler Nation. Purple ones and gray ones too. Rise later.